What do you think of the front cover?
I think the masthead or title is good because even though it's behind the heads, it shows that the magazine is like highly recognised. So that's like a good feature in like a code and convention of like different like magazines.
I think the picture looks really good because they're like different levels. So yeah.
The different fonts used are good, and like when the artists are mentioned, it's their typical font and like almost like brand image that she's using. That's good because people who are interested in those artists will recognise the brand and then will probably be likely to buy the magazine because it will be instantly recognisable.
And it also shows that you can like buy tickets, which would like bribe customers to buy it, and you could like win tickets, like to Bee Festival, which is good for like the target audience as well.
The barcode shown is good because that's obviously another typical code and convention, and the price being shown as well is good. It makes it more like a magazine. You can instantly see how much you've got to pay. The colours work well together and the picture really stands out and contrasts against the kind of darker background, which is good.
And the colours of the fonts as well, like going with the background.
Yeah.
Stands out.
So what do you think of my contents page?
I think the title's really effective, the way it's split up into different bits. It suits the genre and it's not typical of most magazines because usually they're just straight across the page.
I think the picture looks really effective because like the legs are up the side of the page, and she's like lying on the floor with her legs up. She looks quite seductive, which is quite typical of like a pop star.
And the way the picture's just not in the middle of the magazine and kind of goes round the side looks effective because sometimes they're just the focal point of the magazine straight in the centre rather than taking up like different parts of the side.
And it looks really effective how like the text follows the legs.
And the colour theme fits in with the picture, and it's kind of all to do with like Britain and the Union Jack flag and stuff, and that's good because Britain's been so big this year, so it like is focusing on like a current affairs like topic.
Yeah. And there's like the continuity of Loud,
which like establishes the brand and like makes the brand like well known. And the way it's separated into 3 different parts looks quite good because it's easily accessible, and like splits it in so it's easy to find things and like easy to locate articles in the magazine.
And like the titles of the contents are like include puns with like lyrics and stuff that would make the audience laugh.
And finally, what do you think of my double page spread?
I think it's good the way Polaroid pictures have been used, like the effect of Polaroid pictures is good because nowadays like everything is like digital, so it looks quite good because it's kind of like an old-fashioned way of doing it, but it's effective because it looks traditional and that's a bit different to what's usually used in magazines these days.
Yeah, I think the Polaroids are really effective as well, and the title, like the font used is like quite native.
And looks kind of like African, so it fits in with the theme of the magazine, and it makes it have like a continuous theme throughout the article rather than looking like all set apart and like different.
And I think it's good that the intro has now been changed. Like since you changed it, it's like better.
It directs to the audience and like attracts them in more, whereas before it was directed to the people who are being interviewed, which kind of disengages the audience and makes them not feel like they're part of the interview.
Yeah, and it's a good like that social networks are added at the end because like they're quite popular now.
Yeah, and it's
especially with the
such
target audience.
Current thing to use, and yeah, with the target audience they'll be using it, so it's a good way for them to interact with the magazine and find out when like different like things are coming out and that. The questions asked would entice readers into wanting to read it because they're kind of different and ask like a range of things, and the pictures used are really good because they show their whole journey, and it's kind of more the person reading is taken on the journey as well rather than being completely separated from the girls and their experience.